Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the live. This is the second live of the day and the third live in this series. Give me one moment to place the camera on the tripod. Okay, great. So today we did the blue veins and shadows on little Junie Rose. This is a vinyl kit by Marita Winters. I'm about to call her Waters. Marita Winters, Junie Rose, and this is my second time doing a Junie Rose kit. So I'm very excited to do this one as a baby, an ethnic baby with vitiligo. I'm going to be on my computer real quick so that I can take a look at any messages. And I just want to welcome everyone. And give me one moment to get set. It's always like this. You try to do everything and have everything ready before the live starts. And then what typically will happen is that you'll get a phone call or something. And that's what happened with me. I got a call. All right, let's see. So, again, welcome everyone. All right, so we already did the blue veining, and this is the color that we had. We're going to just put that aside, and now we're going to do the modeling. And that's going to give more dimension and life to Junie Rose. Now, this is the second flesh tone that I did. This is going to be her light color, meaning that a baby with vitiligo will have two types of color. They will have the pale portion, and then they will have, okay, that's not coming off, so that's good. As long as it doesn't bleed, then they will have the darker pigmented color. Now, in order to do a modeling, we're going to use the same color that we started with, but we're going to deepen it with a little bit more of this lips, nails, and blush color. This is a brownish crimson color. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to get out. And the cap is in here. So I'm just going to use one of these to get it out. That's a lot. Doesn't even look like nothing's coming out. I should use a let's take our brush. We'll take our brush and stir it up a little bit. Now, I don't think anything really came out. Let me get a stir stick. Okay, I'm really excited to work on modeling. I'm gonna turn on this other light. It's gonna make shadows, weird shadows, but I'll kind of adjust it a little bit. Okay, let me use this amount. Okay, don't really look like it did much. So we added a little bit of this. This is usually a color that you would paint on a baby's lips, but I use it for everything. It's at the end of the day, it's still just paint. Let's see if this is clogged up. Nope, it's pretty good. So just a little drop for now. I think that should probably do it. And we're going to make sure we mix it very well. Now, when I do modeling, I like to use my cosmetic wedge. There's a lot of things that you can use to do modeling. When I say that, like they're sponges, natural sponges. Okay, we also need to water this down. I'm using air dry paints. Air dry paints require you to use distilled water. So just a few drops of distilled water. And I think that that is going to be a pretty decent modeling color. If not, we will come back with a little bit more of either the brown or this, we'll put it right here, the brown or this Flesh 02. The Flesh 02 is the brown, sorry. The lip color, which is called again Lips, Nails, and Blush, or this Flesh 02. So we'll come back with one of those. All right, so now let's go ahead and make a modeling sponge. Now, this is my little extras in here. I was about to say I should have some tweezers. I like to use tweezers to poke holes. Let's make it. We'll make it a little bit closer so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'll pull back a little bit. I don't know why my sponge, I've had these sponges for like over a year. So I don't know why I got this little pattern in there. But yeah, that pattern will absolutely show up. So we're going to make sure that we don't have any straight lines in there, no corners. We need some deep ones. And that's pretty deep. And then we'll test it out. All right, let's toss that out. Okay, so I'm gonna take this paper towel, pull it out a little bit more. We'll take this paper towel. Let's move back. Let's get our camera situated better. This, I can move to the side. I feel like I need to show you guys this, but we'll see how it works first. Okay. I'm going to put one glove on initially. Yes, this is the hand that touches the baby, and I typically will have a very painted and pigmented hand. All right, so we just want to see how deep this is. I think I want to take a little bit more off, but I got to remember what I did with my, oh, here it is. Let's take a little bit off here. Okay. I think I want to take even more. I would like to have nice big holes. Okay, let's take a look and see how that looks on a foot or a leg. Let's see about this light. I think that light looks a little bit better moved up. I'm going to actually add a little bit more of that lip. And I apologize. Hold on just another moment. I'm on my computer. So I use both my, when I'm doing a live, I use both my computer and, yeah, I use both my computer and my telephone. Okay. Oh, look, the cap came back on. Okay, but I don't know if I want the cap on. It worked so much better when I could just, yeah, use the stick. Go ahead and pull some of that off. Did I throw the other stick away? No, let's just go ahead and use this stick again. Okay. I think that'll do it. I do want to kind of go in a little bit so you guys can see if there's any type of color pigment change. Yeah, we're getting some pigment changes. So we're just going to use the brush to make sure that we knock all the color down. And just as a reminder, the texture that I'm putting on this modeling is basically texture. That's all I'm basically doing. Okay. So, oh, I guess we should pull back out a little bit. I still want a little bit more. A little bit more. It's all about trial and error. I didn't think that would come out. Yeah, here's the star stick. All right. If that's not pigmented enough, I don't know what to say. I feel like we really went deep, but it's just not showing enough transition for me. I need to see a distinct difference in skin tone. And let's just make sure that we have all of it mixed in well so we don't have any accidents. Ooh, I don't want to splatter her either. I'm splattering. Okay. Let's kind of clean this up a little bit. Okay. Once again, we're going to do the other leg this time. Let's do this leg. I like this better. We got a little piece of hair here. This is what I'm going for. Ooh. Okay. So you would call this maybe a mauve color. And it's okay to put it on the bottom of the feet. Of course, I'm going to be doing detail work on the bottom of the feet at another time. So what we're looking at are like little holes and dots that look like flesh. And let's do this one next. We'll do this hand next. I think this is dry enough. Yeah, we can go in and do this one. So this is the first leg that we tried to do. And also, I want to thank everybody that's coming in to view the video, even if you don't come in through the live. I appreciate those that have taken a moment out of your day to look at the video. And I thank you for your likes. If you have comments that you want to make, go ahead, make them. And, I do answer my comments. All right, that looks so good. It gives it that human look. I do want to put a little bit more on the front of the feet. A lot of times that's going to be a part of my detail work. So I'm not going to really put that much emphasis on that. Okay. Now we'll do this hand. And if I feel like it is starting to get too wet, the sponge, I'll just dab it off. I want the holes to continue to look like texture, to look like a modeling pattern. So I'm going to make sure that it stays prominent. The holes stay deep, in other words. Okay, so how does doing this differ from doing heat set. So I don't work with heat set. I've never done heat set, so I know that you have to bake at some point so that you don't like start smearing. But with us, air dry people, we just give it a few moments and then, yeah, it's ready to go. It's ready for another layer. And I mentioned in a previous video that it takes about 5 days for it to cure. So, I mean, obviously it sets very fast, but 5 days is 5 to 7 days is how long it takes to get an actual good cure. All right, it's time to do the head. That's what we always love, to get to the point where we can do the head. Let's start in the back again, as usual. There we go. We're making subtle. You can really, really pigment more and make it very, I don't know, dark, but it's not going to look as realistic. So if you did, let's say you went darker, a darker pigment, then you would just water it down. And you can save these sponges and just use them over again. Again, absolutely. I have some somewhere. Maybe perhaps I've thrown them away. I don't know. But yeah, I got sponges that are 2 years old. Okay. The first pass is always the darkest. So I always start someplace, not like on a very important part of her body. So I don't want to like put a very prominent blotch on her face. I see a little bit here. Let's grab this is probably from when I did bleach, when I splat it. All right. All right, I love that. That looks super nice. Okay, now this is also the color that you would use for the shading. Let me get rid of this stick now. Actually, I'm gonna get a little bit off of that. There we go. And get it nice and stirred. This is not the creasing color yet. I would add probably a little more brown if I wanted it to be creased. I'm gonna actually clean off this. One thing about the paint brushes is when you use air dry, you have to kind of make sure that you don't have dry bits This is a dry bit right here. That came off the rim of the paint. And that does get on the paint or in the paint. So when you're actually working, doing your work, you can have too much. Let's put this aside. I'm going to get a nice bigger one, more absorbent one. I got the thinnest paper towels when I was, you know, refreshing my paper towel stock. And I hate that because I thought, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money on paper towel, but well, this paper towel don't really do nothing. So I would prefer a little bit more absorbency. It doesn't have to be a 2-ply, but my 2-ply is really working good. All right, so this is thick. Let's see a little bit here that I'm going to get rid of. Okay, now let's go back and we need a brush. We're going to go with the foot, and I'm just going to add a little bit of detail right in here. I did get a nicer fluffy brush, this one. So, and this is a number 3. It's by a company called Yellen that I got from just Amazon. There we go. We're just adding a little bit of dimension. I won't even really call this blushing, but I guess it is. Blushing is something I really do at the end, but I guess it is a blush color. All right. I think that looks pretty good. I'm not going to mess with the toes right now. I'll leave the toes for detail work. And this is just very mild. Oops, I tried to go to the hand. We got to stay in the order that I paint, which then allows us to know that this is dried. And here's a nice fluffy brush. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more. I wonder if her head takes up too much of the, there. Sorry, Junie, but your head is taking the focus off the work. So we'll have to move you back for a moment. Give a little bit of life to the toes and the heel and the side of the foot. Okay, and just a little bit right in here. And then, of course, a little bit on the knee. Let's put that in the water. You see that motion I'm using? It's not really a painting motion. because I kind of want it to have spaces in there. That gives it a little bit more dimension. So I don't just paint it on. I dab it on. All right, now let's do the hands and the arms. So we're going to put a little bit here, and a little bit here, and a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, see that? Then we'll do the same for. So if you guys are watching me do this air dry painting, I just want you to know that I'm only showing you really the fundamentals of like, mixing with water, and, it's not really like a tutorial, because you're supposed to just add your own touch, add your own personality. You might see a different color. You might not want to do this color. You may not, you may want to do the fingertips, whereas I'm not really doing the fingertips. And then that's perfectly all right for the way you want it to look. You got to put your own touches on there, but not try to copy me exactly. Okay, so let's start with the fingers. And we'll go on to the wrist. And I need to do the thumb. That looks good. I don't even need to dab that off. And take a little bit more, and we'll do the fingertip. We didn't do the other fingertip. We'll do that. We'll go back. Let's do that right here, that right here. Try not to get any on the nails, and we'll try to not to get any in the creases. I do like to put some on the shoulder. Now, how much of this is going to survive the brown when we get to the vitiligo pattern? I do not know. So what do we think? Elbow? We didn't do the elbow. There we go. That looks very natural to me. Let's go back and do, oh, you know why we didn't do the fingertips? Because there's no fingertips showing. This is the closed fist. But we can do this. We can do this part of the hand. Okay. Now we're back to Junie's head. I'm gonna come out just a little bit. Let us use a different brush this time. I'm gonna use this 0 brush. I don't know if you can see it, but it does say 0 on here. One Happy Choice from Amazon. Just putting some on her lips. I think it's time to start building up the lips now that we have this deeper tone. Don't be afraid to turn her upside down so that you can see with fresh eyes. We got the splatter here. I'm going to use this little stick here to help me get rid of any splatters. Okay. And this is just one level of color to build up the lips. There'll be many, many more colors. I don't even know the exact color that I wanted her to end up with. Okay, now what we do is I like this peak right here to stay a little bit light. So we're going to keep some light areas. Make sure we get rid of that. All right, let's do her ear next. We need some color on her ear. Just right in here. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I enjoy painting this little one. I enjoy how fast heat set paints go. Now that looks very realistic to me. And there's so many different ways to paint a reborn. You can go like the modeled look that I did, but if you go back and look at some of my other videos, you'll see that I did speed paints. And in the speed paint, I didn't model. I just put on just a very simple one coat. You know, I just kept building up the coats. Okay, so we got that. Now we just need to put a little bit on her lid. Just a little bit. And a little bit on the tip of her nose. And a little bit in the cleft here. That's a little bit much. Okay. It's a very delicate layer. Yeah. This layer is just a very delicate layer. Okay. Now we have to add brown because now it's time to do a creasing layer. So let's bring her back into, we're going to go back to this Flesh 02. Let's get it shaken up. Wow, that was a lot. It doesn't matter that much if it's a lot because I still got this base color. So if I overdid it with this, then I can always go back to my base color to add a little bit more and build it up again. Plus, it was getting thick, so I had to add water. I think it's good. I think it's pretty good. All right. Let us add a drop of water and we'll take a look and see how this looks. I think that looks good. This is like a creasing color now. So let us go into the areas that we would like to crease. I'll have to turn your head this way, little lady. Let's start right here. And I may need to go back and add a little bit of matte gel. We'll see. What do we think? I feel like it's a little bit light. But we'll see. Let's just keep going. We'll just keep on going. Okay. You don't have to hit every crease. It's not important to hit every crease. This brush might be a little bit big for her little tiny body part. Let me go with this little one. This one is a little smaller. That helped. Okay. So that is a crease that we achieved by adding a little bit more brown. I do want to add some creases here, a little bit darker. Definitely here. I just don't want it to look like a line. That's my whole goal, is to add that color without making it look as if I've added a line. I don't know if y'all can hear that dog. One of our neighbors has a dog that evidently wants to come inside, and I hear him howling every blue moon. Okay. This is just one portion of this particular type of detail. This is not the entire well, I don't know how I want to say that. It's it is all of the creasing that I'm going to do, but there will be much more colors that go in to creating dimensions. All right, that's what I want to say. That's just one part of adding color to the feet, especially because I haven't even started the detail work on the feet. All right, now this is looking really good. Someone, I once saw a video where a person was saying that they really liked having lines in their creasing. They like that contrast of color. So, you know, if that's something that you're trying to achieve, you don't have to pounce it out the way I'm doing. It's just not the look that I'm going for. But there may come a time when I do go for that. But for now, that is not my um, aesthetic. So I'm not trying to hit every line. I'm just trying to hit the wrinkles that I think will be more prominent in the bottom of the feet. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I do see a little bit here. I kind of want to extend it a little bit. Perhaps a little bit of a shadow here. Oops. And maybe a little bit here. I think that's pretty good for the first layer. Now, let's work on the other leg. And once again, I do want to thank you all for stopping by and taking a look at the Junie Rose kit being painted. This eventually will be a baby that has vitiligo. So all of this detail work that we're doing on the light part, a lot of it is going to be covered up. I just don't know what parts are going to be covered up. And so when I started this project, before I even talked to you guys about it, I said to myself that I'm just going to paint her as if all of her body was the paler flesh tone, so that I never had to worry about when I, you know, added the brown, where I wanted to add the brown. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And I will be coming back on live. Even if you don't see me painting, I will be back on live tomorrow, either 8 or 9. I'll have to put it in the community post, because I do want to show you what she's going to look like on the next phase. In this next phase, I'm not going to have enough time to show you on this particular live. The next phase is as I start to work on her brown and working on her pattern, her vitiligo pattern. But obviously, I'm going to show you what it looks like, when that's done, because I want you to join me for the process. We got a little boo-boo there. I think we got a shadow here. Can you see that? We need to start working on a little bit of the lines in her foot. Very light strokes. There, her toes. Is this much different than the heat set? I don't know. So far, I don't know that we're doing anything much different. Okay, let's do the bottom of the feet now. I think that whatever layer that we would do on heat set, it would be the same thing if we're doing a fresh new layer on the heat set versus the air dry. It just seems like you would have to bake it after you do lines like this. Make it a little bit darker here. I like it. What do you guys think? Maybe just a little bit right here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Bottom of the feet, maybe just a little bit more. We need this line to be a little bit more prominent, I think. And maybe just a little bit here. There we go. You got to find a way to position your hand so that you can brace it. I myself have to brace my hand against something. Okay, so we did the legs. Now we're going to work on the hands and do the creasing here. All right. Oh, that looks good. When I say it looks good, I'm thinking to myself, does it look natural? And I think it looks natural. So if you guys like this kind of content, definitely leave me some comments and I'll do some more of this type of content where I come on live and just do live painting. Um, this is my first time doing live painting here, so I'm enjoying it. But if you guys like this kind of content, just let me know and I will set up some more because I plan to do more vinyl babies, this season. I have several people who were asking for vinyl babies in time for Christmas. And I have at least two more that I know for a fact that I'm going to be working on other than this one. One is going to be a toddler size baby, and the other is another, like a newborn size baby. This one is what I would consider a preemie. Okay. Oh, we need another line in here. Like right in here. Make it a little bit darker. There we go. And then we did this already. Just added a little bit of definition. Oh, when it gets quiet like this, it means we're in ASMR space. There we go. Now we will hit this little muscle here. And then this, we don't know if Mama will even see this crease, but we know it's there. Let's make this one a little bit darker. I think I want to reinforce this one because his or her fist is kind of, she's making a fist. I feel like that would be a little bit more deeper right there. What do you guys think? Okay. Let me knock a little bit off. Just a little bit. Okay, did we do that little bicep muscle? No, we didn't even do this one yet. I done jumped ahead. I thought I was done with both hands. All right, let's do this one. It's a little bit more prominent. Yeah, after I get off live, I'm going to do a varnish on Junie Rose to protect this, so that when I do the brown coats, I don't do anything to harm this undercoat, this lighter color. And this is the light pigment for a vitiligo baby. And then we'll have a brown pigment for a vitiligo baby very soon. go. That looks good. I like that. That looks very natural to me. Let's do a little bit here. Okay. That looks good. It's a little bit dark, but I still think it looks natural. All right, now we need to work on these creases in the knuckles. This is really important because when you blush the knuckles, I kind of want this to remain like a crease. I don't want it to be completely blurred out. Oh, look, we have a lot of people who said hi and I missed them. Hello. Sorry I missed you. I have been so focused that I missed people who are coming in for the live. Okay. And for anybody that's just like popping in, this is the Emmy Sculpt by Marita Winters. And she is Junie Rose. Such a cutie pie. Turn it into one of my favorite sculpts, to be honest with you. And I think she's a fairly new one. Okay. Now, normally I stop my live at after 1 hour, but I do want to go in and show you guys the detail on the face. So we're going to extend it by about, 15 minutes or so. I'm going to try not to make a hugely long live stream. But that's the best thing about live streams is that they can be long. Let's make sure that we don't have anything that needs to be erased there. Okay, so we have the palms of the hands. We have that little muscle there. I think I want to make this area a little bit deeper. Okay. I think I want to make this extended a little bit more. There we go. We have, now don't worry about the nails. I have not. That's going to be the detail work for later. All right. Now, I'm going to clean the brush before I start working on her face. We'll start with her ears. And again, this is what she looks like now. This is the crease that we need to make for this part of the ear. I guess I could zoom in a little bit more. Now this is the second flesh tone that I used. So I had put the original flesh tone that I had used, it was a lighter tone, and then I deepened it for the second. That was what I consider my primer coat, was the first coat that was a little bit lighter. And then my second coat was just a bit darker. And then I took that same tone and I added even more pigment to it. Let's make sure we don't have anything that looks like it's flooding. I hope I'm not too close, guys. Okay, I think it's good. Let's do the other ear. We'll do the crease here. And we'll kind of put a little shading in that hollow right there. And we'll trace this little area and up in here and then down through here. And once again, we want to make sure, that I don't have any harsh lines. Everything should look kind of blended, like a shadow. Okay. Let's do this part right here. This part, I'm not so worried about if there's a line there. That part is going to be brown. But we'll just come back out a little bit. I already know her neck is going to be brown. But still. Okay. So we did the creases in the neck. Let's do one right here. Okay. Let's get this in her nose. Doesn't look like nothing happened. Some people don't paint the nose. I do. And it's time to stir the paint. I've always done the nose holes, the nostril holes. Let's do around the ears now. I said the ears. Well, you know what? Let's do the eyes first. I bit around the nose, but then the eyes kind of captured my attention, so I wanted to do that first. A little bit here. I think I have to turn it upside down to see this one. Yeah. There's a little bit here and a little bit here. Just a touch there. Oh, Mimi said, but how you do it? So you got to come back and watch the live from the beginning. And then that way you'll see how I do everything. Yep, that's how I do the whole process. But I'm showing you how I do the process. And if, let's say, you wanted to do a painting on using air dry paints, you wouldn't necessarily be comfortable doing it the way I'm doing it. I hope that makes sense. Like, I see other people root, and I'm like, I can't root like that. So you have to find the way that you feel comfortable painting. Okay. So I feel like we're at a good stopping point, other than I just need to line her lips a little bit. It's a little bit much. Brace your fingers. I'm using my baby finger to brace my hand so that the motion I'm using is just in my fingers. And I'm not trying to move my entire hand. So I'm having more control. And that may go without saying, but I'm just going to say it. Okay. Now, when I get off live, like I said, I'm going to be varnishing Junie Rose, and I'm going to start marking her patterns for the brown spot. I shouldn't say brown spots, but for the fair skin versus the darker AA African tones. African American skin tone, or brown skin tone. Put a little bit right here. And then we'll do this right here. I feel like we need a little bit more around her nose. Just a little bit more definition, and a little bit more around her chin, because I don't even think I did her chin. Right here. All right, guys, that is it for today's live. I'll try to come back tomorrow and I'll post in the community tab. So be sure to subscribe and follow and hit your notification bar so that you will be notified when we do the next part. And you'll see a big drastic change in Junie because I'm going to, like I said, start working on the brow area. So we'll take pictures of her when she looks like this so that you see the change, the difference. But again, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.